everybody, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, I'm back in my kitchen. I really do prefer doing my makeup in my bedroom, but realistically the lighting was not, it was good, but it was like angled down at me, so I had some shadows and I was moving around in my bed a lot trying to make sure I stayed in frame, which made it a little bit more uncomfortable than when I just do my makeup freely without being in front of the camera. So we're back at the kitchen. Throughout the video you might see a little bit of a shine peeping through underneath. The light coming in from the window is reflecting off my floor and like putting a nice little shine on my neck here. So you might see that later on in the video. But anyway, today we are doing a natural, everyday kind of look, the kind of look that you do when you're in a hurry, but you want to look put together. You want to do something simple, not too much effort. This is the look for you. So today's look actually uses only face products. So blush, bronzer, and highlight are the only things that are used on my face aside from your foundation, concealer, lipstick, mascara, obviously. But as far as the eyeshadow look goes, that is all that we're using today. So if you want to see how I completed this look and how I put this together and you want to try it for yourself, make sure to keep on watching. Alright guys, so I'm going to show you a simple everyday look that takes very little effort. So basically, I'm going to start by putting on my foundation. I already put a primer on, so you can put on whatever primer you want. This just happens to be a moisturizing kind of glowy skin one. And I'm going to use the Healthy Foundation from Physicians Formula. Some people will recommend not putting your wand directly back into your face and stuff like that because it's not sanitary. I agree it's not the most sanitary, but I feel like if your face is clean and it's your business, then go ahead and do it, but it's up to you. Some people might put it on their hand, wash the wand, and then or put it directly onto their sponge or their brush, whatever that may be. I'm using the Real Techniques sponge. It's a little stained, but it is freshly washed. I did wet it, obviously, because I washed it. Something I like to do is I like to do one layer of foundation like this, where you can still see some of my red spots, some little acne redness here. So what I'll do is, instead of using concealer, because this is like an everyday look, one that's not like I'm not super concerned about how good my skin looks, but I do want it to look nice. I will take the same foundation and I will stick some extra foundation on those spots that are red. I'm just peeking through a little bit more than I would like them to. Just a couple spots there. And I'm gonna let them sit while I do some concealer to brighten up my under eye. So I'm gonna use the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop concealer in the color Light Ivory. So I'm going to focus the concealer on the spots that I put right here where I have the darkness, the most darkness on my eyes. And I'm going to use my sponge. I'm going to press it down before I spread it out. I'm going to add just a tad bit more in the center underneath my eyes. I'm going to do the same on the other eye and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that we have both of our eyes concealed and our eyelids primed with concealer, since we spread it onto that, we're gonna go back to those spots that we put with extra foundation. I'm gonna use my finger for this. I'm just gonna pat them in place. I'm not gonna move it around, just pat right on the spot. Sometimes when you dab on the spot, you might feel like there's like an extra circle happening on the outside. Then instead of tapping on the blemish or whatever that red spot is, you can tap on the outside a little bit without removing excess foundation or concealer if you're using concealer on top of that discoloration that you might be trying to conceal. All right, at this point, I'm going to take some powder. This is the Becca Cosmetics Hydra Mist Set and Refresh powder. You can use any setting powder that you want. Sometimes I like to use a loose powder from Maybelline Fit Me, but I'll be using this one today. Here's what the cap looks like. Ooh, it's pretty shiny, might be hard to see. If you are super oily, go ahead and set your entire face. Because I have really dry skin, I only set under my eyes and then in areas that I sweat a lot so that it won't get too shiny there. I sweat very easily. So now that I have set my face where I want to, I am going to show you how I do an everyday eyeshadow look using face products. So I already did, before I did foundation, I did a light little bit of brows. So however you like to do your brows, if you just do a brow gel, if you like powder, pencil, whatever it is you use, go ahead and do that. You can do that now if you prefer to do it after foundation, or you can do it before your foundation. But for eyeshadow and face, I'm going to use the Tarteist Pro Glow palette. Only because of the convenience. It doesn't mean it's my favorite or anything. It is really nice and it's convenient for travel because it has all three things that you need together. So you have 2 blushes, 2 highlights, and 2 bronzer contour kind of colors over here. So what I like to do is I will only use these brushes. I will use these 3 for my face, which is this fluffy brush for bronzer, this one for blush, and this glittery one for highlight on my face. And then for my eyelids, I will use a giant fluffy brush for my crease, my blush brush for my lid, and a small kind of angled pencil brush for my inner corner. Now, I usually do this all simultaneously. So typically on my face, I will start with my highlight. So if I'm starting with highlight, I'm going to take my highlighter, and today I think between these 2 highlights, I'm going to choose this one that's a little bit more of like a bronzy kind of golden color versus this one. This is more on the pink tone. I'm gonna use this one right here. And with my pencil brush, I'm gonna take that on the inner corners of my eye. I know this might seem a little backwards, but this is what I do. Most people highlight the inner corner after they're done with their eyeshadow. For my everyday look, I start it now. And I like to put a lot of inner corner highlight when I do these kinds of looks so that my eyes really pop, look awake. I'm getting some sunlight coming up under the table here, so if you see that nice little glow happening on my neck here, that's why. And when I do an inner corner highlight, I like to emphasize the shape of my inner corner as like the inner V versus the outer V. So I will make a V shape and come up into that crease a little bit, come down into the lower lash line a little bit, and then focus right here in that corner. If you prefer to just keep it in the corner and just dab right there, you go for it. That's just how I do it. Now, from this one, I'm going to move on to my face with the highlight. And I like to start highlighter, blush, then bronzer so that they will blend all into each other, because I find that if I start the other way, the products just kind of sit on top of each other versus as they get darker, they like gradient a little bit better. So I'm gonna take some of that highlight. Okay, now we move on to blush. So I'm going to use this blush in the palette right here. And I'm going to use this blush brush on my eyelid and on my cheeks. So we're just gonna start with my eyelid. So I'm gonna pat this down a few times on the blush, tap off the excess, and then I'm going to squeeze into this kind of contoured shape you see here. It almost looks like the shape of your eyelid. So I squeeze and I press, squeeze down here and I press the middle with my thumb. And I'm going to stamp that on gently. And you put as much pink on there as you want. Totally up to you. It's this nice natural kind of look because it is cohesive with the rest of your face. All right, I feel good about that. There's a little bit of a pink hue on both eyelids. Now I'm gonna take that same blush and I'm gonna apply it to my cheekbones. Okay, you see some color to our cheeks. Now we're gonna move on to our bronzer. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this one right here. And I'm gonna take my big fluffy brush, excuse me. I'm gonna take my big fluffy brush, I'm gonna dip it into that bronzer. I'm gonna start on my outer corner and I'm gonna do circular motions right here because I want the darkest pigment on this side. Okay, now that we got some color here, I'm gonna start to windshield wiper back and forth here and bring the color in. Every time I add more, I'm gonna focus on the outside and then bring it in. So now we have a little bit of a contour happening on our eyelids. We're gonna take that same color, same brush, and now we're gonna pinch it and we're gonna run it on our lower lash line. All right, now we're gonna take the fluffy brush that you saw earlier. We're gonna dip that into that same color and we're gonna bronze our face. Alright guys, so that is it for this part of it of getting a full face with just your face products. So any blush, bronzer, and highlight that you have will do. I just chose the Tarteist Pro Glow because they were all conveniently in one palette. But you can use any one you want. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on some mascara and my choice of lipstick, and you can see the final look in just a second. Okay, and that's with mascara and lipstick on. I went ahead and used my L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara like I've been doing just about every video so far. And if you're interested in this lipstick that's kind of like one of those metallic looking kind of shimmering lipsticks, this is the Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick in Monaco by Ofra. Might be a little bit hard to see there. So when you do an eye look like this that's very everyday, you can totally dress it up. If you want to put winged liner, put on some winged liner and make it look a little bit more sophisticated if you want to. If you want a bold lip, put on a bold lip. It's totally up to you. But this is my go-to every day. I'm in a hurry. I want to look put together, but I don't want to spend a ton of time doing an intricate makeup look. So this is what I'll do. So if you enjoyed this video and you really liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and go ahead and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. I post videos every week doing anything from Disney inspired looks to just any type of makeup look that I'm feeling that day that I hope that you'll enjoy. And even hopefully in the future I'll be bringing back my fiance and doing some more makeup stuff with him. So go ahead and leave a comment down below for anything else that you'd like to see, anything that you would like to learn more about as far as makeup is concerned. Hopefully I can help, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!